So today, we're diving into the stories behind the many, many names of the Hindu deity Shri Krishna. You probably know him as a god, maybe a lover, a protector, or even a trickster. But here's the thing. Every single one of his names tells a story, and each story shows us a different side of his incredibly complex and fascinating identity.
His story kicks off with some serious drama. I mean, he was born in a prison. His father had to carry him, just a newborn, across a wild, raging river in the middle of a massive storm. And just look at this. The river literally parted for them, and the giant serpent Sheshnag formed a protective umbrella over him. This whole miraculous journey was really just the opening act for a truly extraordinary life.
And that really gets us to the heart of the matter, doesn't it? How can one being have so many different identities? Well, that's what we're going to explore. We're going to walk through 4 key stories that unlock the meaning behind 4 of his most famous names, and hopefully paint a much richer picture of who he truly was. All right, let's start with Krishna, the artist. This first story is all about his identity as a divine lover, and it's told through the incredible tale of his magical flute. You have to understand, the sound of his flute was said to be the very essence of love itself. When he played, it was like the entire world just stopped and held its breath. People, animals, even the trees and the rivers were just completely captivated, totally lost in this divine music. But the story of how that flute came to be is just as powerful. So one day, Krishna goes up to a bamboo tree in his garden, and he lays it all out. He says, "Look, I have to cut you down, hollow you out, and pierce you with holes. It's going to hurt, a lot, and you'll stop being a tree forever." And the bamboo's response? It's just this beautiful moment of complete devotion, a total surrender. It basically says, my real identity is with you. Whatever form you give me, I'll accept it. This act of selfless sacrifice, that was the key. That was what made the magic possible. So Krishna carves this flute with his own hands, and then he breathes his own life force into it. The sound that came out, it wasn't just music, it was something truly divine. And because of this, he became known as Murli Manohar, the divine flutist, the one who captivates the entire world with his song. But the story of the flute has this really poignant, tragic ending, and it's all tied to his beloved Radha. As she was laying on her deathbed, she had just one last wish, to hear him play his flute just one more time. And Krishna did. He played for her. But you can only imagine the sadness in that final melody. After Radha passed away, Krishna, just completely overcome with grief, broke the very instrument he had created with so much love, and he never, ever played the flute again. Now this incredibly deep connection with Radha is so central to who he is that it gives him another name, one that you almost never hear without hers. This is the story of their inseparable, unbreakable bond.
This story is just magical. When Radha was born, she was this beautiful baby, but she wouldn't open her eyes. Her parents were getting so worried. Then, one day, the infant Krishna is brought over and placed right next to her cradle. And in that very instant, she opens her eyes for the first time in her life. And the very first thing she ever sees is him.
And from that moment on, their souls were just locked together. Radha herself said it best, "I live in Krishna, and he lives in me." And she said, "He is always in my eyes," which is just such a beautiful nod to that first moment she ever saw him. Yeah, this slide just nails it. It shows you exactly why their names are always spoken together. On the left, you've got Radha and Krishna, which sounds like 2 separate people. But on the right, you see Radha Krishna. It's one name because they're seen as one single complete soul. One just isn't complete without the other.
Okay, so we've seen Krishna the lover. Let's switch gears and talk about Krishna the protector. These next 2 stories really show off his immense divine power and explain how he earned the names Gopal and then Govind.
So this story starts with another god, Brahma, who's feeling, well, a little skeptical. He sees Krishna just living this simple life as a cowherd, and he's thinking, really? This kid is supposed to be an avatar of Lord Vishnu? I don't see it. So he decides to put him to the test. Brahma uses his divine powers and just makes all of Krishna's friends and their cows vanish. He zaps them away to his own realm. Then thousands of years pass. When Brahma finally comes back to Earth, he's totally floored. The cowherds are there, the cows are there, everything is exactly as he left it. He can't figure it out. How is this possible?
And then, in this absolutely mind-blowing moment, Krishna reveals the truth. The cowherds, the cows, the ropes, even the trees, They were all just different forms of Krishna himself. He wasn't just with them, he was them.
After that, you can bet Brahma realized his mistake, and this whole event really sealed Krishna's identity as Gopal, which means protector of the cows. It wasn't just his job, it was his divine role, showing his love and care for every single being in his village.
But his job as protector was about to get a major upgrade. See, the villagers, on Krishna's advice, decided to worship the Govardhan Mountain instead of the rain god, Indra. Well, Indra took this personally. He was deeply insulted and decided to punish them by unleashing an absolutely apocalyptic storm.
We're talking terrifying black clouds, rain that felt like falling rocks, and floods that threatened to wipe out the entire village. Everyone, completely terrified, ran to Krishna for help. And for 7 straight days and 7 nights, he had to hold back the full, furious power of a god's wrath.
And how did he do it? He walked over to the Govardhan Mountain, lifted the whole thing up, and just balanced it on the tip of his little finger. He created a giant natural umbrella that shielded every single person and animal from Indra's storm. After Indra finally gave up and admitted defeat, Krishna's identity evolved. He went from being Gopal, the protector of the cows, to Govind, the protector of the entire world. This one incredible act of power redefined him as a universal savior.
So we've seen Krishna as an artist, a soulmate, and a protector. Let's kind of pull all these threads together now and see what these different forms really tell us.
This table really lays it all out, doesn't it? We saw how the selfless sacrifice of a bamboo tree led to the name Murli Manohar, the divine artist. We learned how his unbreakable bond with Radha made them Radha Krishna, a single soul. We watched Brahma's test reveal him as Gopal, protector of his village. And then we saw him lift a mountain to become Govind, protector of the world. See? They aren't contradictions, they're just different facets of one amazing, complex being.
And all of this leaves us with one last big, profound thought to chew on. These stories seem to suggest that divinity isn't just one single thing. It can be found in the beauty of arts, in the incredible depth of love, and in acts of protection, whether they're big or small. So the real question is, if one being can embody all of these different forms, what does that tell us about the nature of the divine, and maybe, just maybe, about the potential that lies within each of us too?